Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is 401 Styling. For today's tutorial, I'm going to show us the process of making this box shirt with a notch collar. So for this tutorial, we are going to be making use of two different color of plain fabric, just like I have here. So you can go ahead and make use of a fabric of your choice. It can be plain and pattern, it can be an African print, and so on like that. Just be creative about it. So please, if you are interested in knowing how to make this particular shirt, it's very simple and easy. Just stay with me to the end. Thank you. Now we are going to start with the back pattern, and the first thing you want to do is to take your top length or your shirt length. After taking your length, you are going to come to the shoulder line and take your shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus 0.5 joining allowance. After that, I'm going to take the neck width of 3 inches and neck depth of 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect with a curve rule. After connecting with a curve rule, the next thing you want to do is to connect your shoulder slope. So this point where you mark your shoulder measurement, you go down by 1 inch, and you're going to connect straight with a straight line down to the neck width. Okay, so after this, now I'll take my vertical measurements and I'll start with the chest line. So you're going to measure your chest line measurements from your shoulder slope downward, just like you see me doing, and you're going to connect with a straight line. So after that, you're going to measure on your chest line whatever measurement you have on your shoulder, just to have a straight line, just like you see me doing. You're going to connect to the shoulder slope like this with a straight line. So after that, now on the chest line, you're going to divide your bust circumference into 4. You can simply divide your tape like I'm doing. You divide into 2, then you divide into 4 again. We do not have a calculator. I'm going to be adding the seam allowance on the fabric. So after which you have divided your bust circumference by 4, you add 1 inch is allowance, and you are going to add it to whatever measurement you have. After that, you find the midpoint of the shoulder line by dividing whatever you have into 2 equal half. Connect to the shoulder slope with a curve, with a straight line rather, then back to the chest line with a curve rule, just like you see me doing. And that we have created our armhole. So whatever you have on the chest line, to repeat the same measurements on the top length or the shirt length, like you see me doing. Then you're going to connect with a straight line, because it is going to be a box shirt, it's not a fitted. Okay, so after that, now you are done with the back. So your allowance is going to be on the main fabric, and if you want to add it right now, you can also add it. So with this, we are done with our back bodies. Now for the front bodies, it's going to be a little bit different. So at the top, you're going to leave allowance about 5 inch or 6 inch, and at the front, before the center front line, you're going to leave about 2 inch. Okay, because you're going to be extending measurements. Okay, so this is going to be our new center front. Then on this new line here is where you're going to take your shoulder measurement divided by 2, your neckline measurement 3 inches by 3 inches for the front, and you're going to connect with a curve ruler to give you a round neckline. So after which you are done with this, you're going to connect the shoulder slope, the same method or the same process we did for that of the back, we're going to do for the front, except for the collar area alone. So now that I'm done with the bodies, now we can now work on the neckline. So here we are going to mark our button allowance that is going to overlap. So I'm going to mark 1 inch from the neckline area down to the top length, just like you see me doing, and connect with a straight line. Okay, so after which you have done this, now the next thing you want to do is to connect the neckline directly to that 1 inch. So this is where our button is going to be. So now the next thing is to determine the breaking point. So the breaking point can be on the chest line, before the chest line, depending on how you want it to be. Then from that point, you're going to connect to the neckline like you see me doing. Okay, so this is our lapel, and it's going to be folding outward. It's going to be outside. Okay, so now the next thing you want to do is to measure what you have on the neckline, the back neckline. You're going to measure carefully, and here I have about 3.5 inch. So whatever measurement you have, you're going to measure upward from the shoulder this way, and it's going to be slant. It's just going to continue that slant line. Okay, so from that line, now you go in by 0.25 just to make the collar sit very well on your neckline, and we are going to be working with this new line. So after that, now we are going to mark 1 inch from this angle upward like this thing. You're going to connect with a straight line. Okay, you need to make sure that you have an accurate measurement. You can make use of 1 inch or 1.5. Just connect like this. It's going to be slant like this, and this is going to be the notch on the collar. So after that, you're going to determine how wide you want the collar to be. I measured 3.5. Yours can be 3.5 or more or less than that. Then you're going to connect just like you see me doing. Okay, and that is going to be our collar. So just label. You're going to cut through this line here, label your pattern, and this space is going to be on fold. That is, you're going to be folding your fabric before cutting out the collar. Okay, so now you're going to watch carefully the way I'm going to cut this out. So you're going to cut off the collar itself and every other part of the bodice. So I'm going to use this pattern to cut out my fabric. The front is going to be 2, the back is going to be a fold. And make sure you notch all the important places on the collar. That is going to guide you when you are sewing. It is really important. So after that, now I use my pattern to cut out my fabric just like you see that I have here. And for the back bodice, I cut it on fold, and I added 0.5 seam allowance to the shoulder area, the armhole, and on the hem line I added 1 inch for the folding allowance. So this is the front, and here is the collar. I cut it on fold, I had interface to it, and I cut the lining as well. Okay, so I added my 0.5 seam allowance all around. So when you join the collar to the neckline, this is how it's going to be. So you need to notch the important points on the collar and at the same time on the lapel and the neckline, just to guide you where you want to join your piece together. Okay, so after that, I added 0.5 allowance on the shoulder, then 1 inch for the folding allowance. At the center front also, I added my 0.5 seam allowance. So the collar is going to be on fold, and I'm going to be using the different color for the neckline, for the collar rather, and the facing. So for the facing of the front, you're going to divide your pattern into 2 equal half. Okay, so just like I already have here, I divided my pattern into 2 equal half. Then I cut out on another piece of fabric, another color, because I want it to show on my lapel. So you're going to divide your shoulder into 2 equal half, and on the hem of the jacket of the shirt, you're going to divide into 2 equal half. Fold into 2 and use it to cut out your fabric. Okay, so that is what I did. Then I had my seam allowance or my joining allowance. So by the time you open it up, this is what you're going to have. So you're going to be using this to turn the center front of the pattern. Okay, and by the time you finish sewing and you flip the lapel, this is the color that is going to show outside. So you can go ahead and make use of any color of your choice, just like you see me doing, and you can maintain the same color for the main fabric and the facing. Just go ahead and cut your facing, then you'll add interface to it, just like I've done here. Now the next thing I will do now, I'm going to mark 1 inch from this center front line. Remember the 1 inch that we measure before we create our lapel, that's going to be our folding allowance. And we're going to do the same thing on the main fabric. We're going to mark in 1 inch, place it on each other, then I'm going to sew in that 1 inch. Okay, so this will make it easier for us to join our collar. So guys, I've gone ahead and join it together. Then I join the center front with my 0.5 seam allowance. So on this part, I joined 1 inch. After the 0.5 allowance, you have 1 inch. Then I stitch it with 0.5 as well. Remember, I added 0.5 to the collar area and the neckline area. So you're going to use the allowance to join it. So but before turning it, you're going to cut off the excess so that it can lay flat by the time you turn it around. And make sure you notch this point where you stop your 1 inch, so as to be easy for you to turn that part around. So just like you see me doing, you notch that point and you turn it inside out. So what I did on this one, I did on the other center front pattern. You know, we have 2 for the front, so I do the same thing on the 2 pattern. Okay, so this is what you are going to have. Okay, as you can see now, we have our facing. Then you're going to fold in the allowance. You can just weave the edge and secure it with a hemi gum. Okay, so this is what the front is going to look like. Then as for this part, you're going to open press and fold in the lapel this way. Press it flat so it can relax. Okay, just like we have on our pattern. You're going to cross check so that you know that you have the correct breaking point. So now I'm going to fold this part inward like this, and you can see the effect of the facing. So the same thing applies to this other pattern. So guys, this is what you should have. So this is the two front bodies, and this is what you are going to have by the time you are done sewing. So the next thing I want to do now is to join the shoulder for both front and back together. I'm going to come in with my back bodies. Remember, we have not worked on that at all. So we are going to join the shoulder for the front and the back together. Place the right side of the back bodies on the right side of the front bodies this way. Then you use your seam allowance or your sewing allowance of 0.5 inch to join it together for the both shoulders. So I'm going to do that now and show us what it looks like and what next we are going to do. So guys, I've joined the pattern together and this is what I have. Okay, so after this now, the next thing you want to do is to find the midpoint of this neckline at the back. You're going to notch it just like you see me doing, because we'll need to place the center of the collar on the center of the neckline. So before we go ahead to join the collar to the neckline, we'll need to turn the collar with this other fabric, okay, which will serve as our lining. Okay, place your pattern on each other carefully. Make sure you notch the center point and you use your 0.5 allowance to join it round. So I'm going to do that now, but make sure that the part that you are going to join to your neckline, you don't turn it yet. It is just the other side. Okay, indicate on the pattern where exactly you are going to be joining. So what I'll do now, I will join with my 0.5 seam allowance on this part now, and this other side is going to be open because that is where we are going to be joining to the neckline. Always have your pattern intact so that you cross check, so you'll be able to go back to it anytime you want to be confused. So after this now that I'm sure of where I want to join, I'm going to mark my 0.5 allowance all round this way. Go ahead and do the same thing. This is just for you to be double sure, to be very careful, and just to keep your mind at peace that you are doing the right thing. So guys, I've joined it together and this is what it's going to look like. Then I go ahead and fold this other part of the fabric with 0.5 allowance. I use my pressing iron to fold it. So you're going to do the same thing. This is just to make you it's just to make it easier for you whenever you want to join to the neckline, because you're going to join one part of the collar to the neckline, then you're going to use the other side to turn it around. It will be like if you are top stitching, you're going to use the other part to top stitch. So that 0.5 that you fold in will make it easier for you to sew whenever you want to do that. Now I've joined the first layer of fabric, and as you can see, this is how it's going to look like. So you are going to fold the other part towards the wrong side of the shirt, okay, just like you see me doing. So I'm going to sew this round now. Make sure you flip in the allowance you have at the beginning of the collar so that you have a neat finishing. After that, I'm going to join the side using my 1 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to fold the hem of the shirt. After folding, this is what it should look like. You're just going to have a neat finish around that part, okay, because the folding has already helped me have a straight line. So the next thing is to join the sides together. I'll secure the hem of the shirt, then I'll join a basic sleeve to the armhole area. So if you do not know how to draft a basic sleeve, you can check my previous tutorial on how to draft a basic sleeve. I used two different method to draft a basic sleeve. We drafted long sleeve and short sleeve, so I'll drop the link for us in the description box in case we'll need it. So go ahead and cut your basic sleeve and join to the armhole. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing now, and I'm going to show us the finished product on my mannequin. Okay, so thank you guys for watching this tutorial up to this moment. I really appreciate you guys, and please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share for other people to see. Thank you. So guys, this is what we have at the end. As you can see, the color that we use for the facing is what we have as a lapel and at the collar. So you can do and undo, do as you like, be creative about it. And probably when I rock this shirt, I'm just going to take a picture and post here. So after this, you're going to fix a button, you make a button holes, and your shirt is ready. So turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I drop a new video. And if you have a video request, kindly drop in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye.